been signed with the transition team for the State Department yet.
So it has not.
And so if there are meetings that are happening to do with the Gaza ceasefire deal with members, of the Trump transition team with the Qataris, for example, I mean, is there not a danger here that there are, duplicated messages or contradictory messages that might actually stifle the process?
Well, look, you've heard me, the Secretary, Matt, say unequivocally that it's our viewpoint that there is, of course, only one president at a time and such, one Secretary of State at a time and so on and so forth. All I can stand up here and say, Tom, is that the MOU with the State Department has not been signed. The broader MOU with the General Services Administration has not been signed. I will leave it to the Trump incoming team to speak to their process as it relates to MOUs. But the department has not, to your question about the role that we have played in some of these foreign engagements or not, to my knowledge, we have not played a role.
But just on that, I mean, you don't have any knowledge basically of any conversations that are taking place by members of the transition team with key regional players on this issue.
Look, appropriate officials across the interagency are in touch with the incoming administration, consistent with the MOUs that have been signed. So I wouldn't go so far to say that we don't have visibility. Your specific question was about the GSA and the State Department one, which has not been signed. Go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks for that.
I'll come to you. It's on topic.
Yeah. So I mean, the Trump transition has signed an MOU with the DOJ, and that does allow for FBI background checks. So couldn't the State Department be in touch with the transition, and are there plans for Secretary Blinken to meet with Senator Rubio? Because the Trump transition statement said ultimately this will afford the transition process additional insights, and it facilitates our agency landing teams gaining access to the information they need to prepare for leadership of the federal agencies and departments.
I'm just going to jump in because we're short on time. Jackson, I will leave it to the Trump administration's team to speak to the MOUs they intend to sign or not. What I can say again is that the one with the State Department has not been signed. The one as it relates to the White House, as my understanding, has been signed, and as you so noted, it's been announced that the one with the Department of Justice has. I will leave it to the General Services Administration and the Trump transition team to speak to what that means. To our knowledge, there's not yet been a agency review team for the State Department that has been appointed. Should there be one, we of course stand ready to appropriately engage and do everything we can to make sure that there is a seamless transition. Number two, as Matt has said previously, the Secretary and Senator Rubio had the opportunity to speak on the phone briefly a couple of weeks ago. I'm sure at some point before January 20th, they will have the opportunity to sit down and talk about some of these issues in greater detail.
I have a couple other questions.
Brahms had his hand up patiently. Go ahead. Yeah.
So we've seen the talk